Hi, my name is Joy Noonan and I have been a chartered mediator with the ADR Institute of Canada since 2011. A mediation is, in my view, a wonderful tool for resolving most, not all, but most conflict. Now, mediation is typically defined as assisted negotiation, where you will have a neutral third party, a mediator, come in and assist two or more parties, and that can be individuals or groups, to co-create a solution to the conflict. So this is quite different from appearing before a judge or an arbitrator, where a judge or the arbitrator will impose a solution on the parties, and that solution may or may not be one that the parties like or can live with. So a mediator, on the other hand, cannot force the parties to do anything. But a mediator will take the time to work very skillfully with parties, listening carefully, brainstorming options, sometimes together, sometimes separately, and going back and forth in what is known as shuttle diplomacy to see if we can work with the parties to find a way through. It's typically in those private meetings, in the confidential separate meetings with parties, where mediators will work very hard with them to brainstorm whether or not what is proposed on the table is a solution that the parties can live with, or whether there needs to be a counter offer back. And again, that's the negotiation piece to all of this. A good mediator will help parties when they get stuck. So, it shouldn't surprise anyone in a mediation process that parties do get stuck. They arrived in mediation for a reason. So where you see that skill come in is a mediator almost like twisting a Rubik's Cube to see if there is a way that we can look at the conflict or look at the obstacle to get around it, to get over it, under it, sometimes through it, to see if we can get past whatever that is, unstick the parties, and get them back to the track toward a solution. One of the features I like most about mediation is that it's not formal. And that's really important for a lot of people who find court arbitration very intimidating. Who wouldn't? So a mediation scenario is much more relaxed. People typically feel more relaxed and frankly can think more clearly and more reasonably about what a solution might be that would make sense. Another feature about mediation that's important is that it's confidential. People will sign typically a confidentiality agreement before the mediation gets underway. And if things fall apart after 2 hours, 3 hours, 2 days, 3 days of trying, that's okay. Everything that is shared in a mediation, be it a document or verbally, it disappears. And you are back out onto the normal track then of potentially a court process or an arbitration process. Often people will incorporate a confidentiality piece into the solution to your conflict as well. So that's separate, but often people will negotiate that the solution be kept confidential as well, which is a nice option. Finally, I think what's really important is the neutrality of your mediator and the fact that the mediator is playing no side, only the middle, to see if the mediator can help the parties come to a conclusion together. And it's so satisfying for those parties when they're a party to creating something that isn't imposed on them, that actually works for all of the parties involved, as opposed to having a judge or an arbitrator impose something without really knowing the people involved and what maybe the side stories are. If you'd like to learn more about mediation or other alternative dispute resolution approaches, check out the ADR Institute of Canada's website, which is adric.ca.